So, just got done at the battle station. Just finished a pretty heavy day, actually. Just had a big workshop, a couple of consultation calls, and on that last consultation call, something came up. We covered something that's so useful if you're a coach that wants to start making more sales from social media, from your marketing, and you're not getting enough inbound leads. Like, it feels like you're just kind of posting into a void and no one's really asking to work with you. Sometimes it feels like they're coming in, but it's just kind of like luck, and you're having to go out and get them. Just spoke to someone that feels like they're in the exact same position. And basically, in theory, we sorted it out. And I'm almost going to use it as a case study. Not that we've proved it yet, right? But I know it's going to work anyway because I've done it multiple times before. But I'm going to use it as a case study. So this is going to be what I'm about to tell you basically in this video is a really practical, real practical advice of how you can get more inbound leads for your business through your marketing. So this guy, he's a fitness coach. He's got 31,000 followers on Instagram, and he is having a hard time getting inbound leads. And you're watching this, you probably haven't got 31,000 followers. You've probably got less than that, right? And you're probably thinking that if you have more followers, you're going to be getting more inbound leads and you're going to be making more sales and everything else. But it really doesn't work that way. And so we had this conversation, me and this coach, and we started to break it all down. And there's one thing that he's now left with, like one of the main things that he's now left with that is going to change everything in terms of inbound leads. So let's go into it. So first of all, we looked at his current situation. What's he currently doing, right? What's he currently doing? So he's getting lots of followers, but no one actually wants to work with him. No one, like they're following him, but they're not actually kind of asking to work with him. What was he doing? Well, he was posting reels, sharing tips. Often it was a lot of like form exercise reels and stuff like that, posting loads of those. It was getting followers. He was also doing like Instagram ads. It was bringing in more followers and stuff. But no one was really taking it to that next level and asking to really work with him. Here and there it would feel like luck though, and it definitely wasn't in kind of proportion to the amount of followers he had, right? So I had looked through the content, we worked on it together, and we realized something. Well, I already kind of knew this, right? But I told him something. There's a huge difference between content and marketing. Let me just change the rooms. I don't think we've had enough of the purple light for a second. So there's a huge difference between content and marketing, right? So many coaches are actually just posting content and they think content is the answer, right? They're just posting content, hoping that people eventually like their stuff and come in. Marketing in your business is very different. Marketing is when we can specifically sell them on an idea. So if they're bought in on that idea psychologically, they have to work with you and no one else. Okay, so where do most coaches go wrong, and where was this guy going wrong? He was going wrong because he had no unique angle to market. He was just a coach, right? So he was just being a coach, sharing tips that all coaches could share to his audience and hoping that they chose him over the sea of probably millions of other coaches, right? And of course it wasn't working. So the one thing that he's left that call with now that is going to change everything for him is a big idea, right? So if you look at actual marketing, people have big ideas, right? The big idea is, what big idea do we need to sell our audience on? And if they're sold on this, they will want to work with us and no one else. Often the big idea is a unique mechanism, right? What's your way of getting the result that nobody else does, that you can actually tell your audience the reason that they've never been able to get this result before is because they have not had this, they haven't had your unique mechanism, and that's why you're going to get them the result. Okay, and I'm going to tell you what the actual thing is that we created for him actually is, as we go through this video, so keep watching. But I want to explain it a little bit more first, right? So he's a fitness coach and he works with women that are trying to lose fat and get in shape. So what do we know about this niche? Well, they've tried to get in shape loads and loads of times. And, you know, if they're still within his addressable market, they haven't done it yet. So if they've tried, what does that mean? And most niches are like that, by the way. If they've tried and they haven't done it, what does that mean? It means that you do not really need to motivate them to want the outcome. You need to motivate them to believe that this time can be different. We need to instill them with hope. How do we do that? Well, we need to show them that we do it differently and there's a different way, and there's a way that they never really understood before. There's a different way to get them the result that they've never tried. There's a new way to get the result that they've never tried. And a really good angle to come from is they've been doing the wrong things all along. It's nothing to do, it's not their fault. It's not the fact that they haven't stayed motivated or anything else. They've been doing the wrong thing all along. And if they do what we tell them to do, they will get the result. Okay? So imagine that if you were the prospect and you had all these different coaches just saying tips, and someone came along and said, hey, by the way, I know that you've tried countless times to get into shape and it's never worked, but there's a reason for that. It's because you've been trying it this way all along. The real reason that you've never been able to make this progress and keep it is because of this, and I've got the solution. Do you see how your solution now becomes a thing that they want? They don't just want a coach and then they're going to go shopping around. They're going to look for you. So what did we do for him to find his unique angle, his unique mechanism, his big idea? He's working with these women. And these women have been dieting since they was about 16. Ever since they became conscious that they had a physique, they've probably been dieting, right? Which is a shame. And when I was a fitness coach, I saw this as well. And it is quite sad. They've been dieting since I was like 15 years old, or on and off dieting. It's bad. And it's bad for their metabolic health. You know, they're always under eating, or always psychologically giving themselves a hard time. So we've created his program, and it is called, he's going to work on the name, maybe make it a little bit sexier, but the Metabolic Restoration Protocol, right? So how do we sell this? Well, his marketing message is now around the fact that these women have dieted all their life. They've been giving themselves a hard time. They've been restricting food all of this time, and they've caused metabolic damage their metabolism has slowed down to account for that. So if they just do the ways that they've tried before, or the ways that the next coach is going to want them to do, they are going to only make that worse. And they might lose a bit of fat, but then they're going to be super hungry and they're going to put it back on again, right? So his program is different because he runs them through his metabolic restoration protocol, which restores their metabolism through the 3 phases that we take them through. So not only do they lose the fat straight away, but they lose it in a way so they're not hungry. They lose it in a way that it stays off for good. And then they can go and phase 3, live their best life, learn how to maintain it, and then never have to think about fat loss again. So whether you want to agree or not on the science doesn't matter. We're talking about the marketing right now, right? This is how you find your own unique angle and unique edge to be able to sell. So you're not just posting content every single day, but you're actually posting marketing, and you actually know the angle. So then we talked about, and then he said, well, cool, like this sounds really good. I'm excited for this, but how do we turn this into something that I can constantly talk about? Because it's going to be hard to constantly talk about the exact same thing every day. And I said, other than, there's many other ways that we can do this, but one of the main things, and the one that I want to leave you with, is create a VSL, so video sales letter. So once you've got this angle, once you've got this message that you want all of your prospects to hear, we can create, and he sells through calls. He's a consulting client. He's just paid for like a consulting call. He sells through calls. So without changing everything else, I said, you want to use this in your messaging. It's going to be a huge part of your messaging, but you want to create a VSL, a video sales letter that that hooks them in on their pain, and it runs them through this, and it shows them that they've been looking, everything I just said, they've been looking at the wrong thing. You show them that your new opportunity, your new way to do it, you show them the phases that you take them through, and then you show them to how it actually looks inside your program. Then you make them an offer and you say, if you want to learn more about doing this with me, scroll below and you can book your call. Because that was another thing that he said at the start was, I just feel like, I'm kind of just throwing shit at walls, seeing what sticks, trying to kind of build my business on luck. This creates a little more of a process. This is what we was able to do in 90 minutes, right? A little more of a process where he's got his main marketing message that he is selling people on this specific idea. And then as they're into his world, he can drive all of his traffic to this one page where they can see the VSL, which again, indoctrinates them in this way of thinking and then books them in for a call. So the big takeaway here, do not steal that one unless that's like already like who you're working with, because it's not going to work with everyone, right? It works for specific niches. But the big takeaway here, and actually don't steal it, come up with your own one. The big takeaway here is understand the difference between marketing and content. Understand your unique angle. So it doesn't fitness coach, business coach, mindset coach, whatever coach. Understand your unique angle because there's already somewhere that they want to go. You're not going to kind of sell them on a new result that they want. They already want the result, and you're going to come across with your offer is going to be the vehicle to take them there, right? A better vehicle than anyone else. So come across, have your unique angle, and understand that is the marketing process of getting them sold on your angle or mechanism or big idea over the next person's. Good news is most people don't have that. Most coaches are amateurs. They don't have that, and they're just being a coach. They're just selling coaching, being a coach. They don't know this marketing stuff. So if you're watching this, you already got a leg up on the competition. So think about those things, come up with your own one, and start putting it out there in your marketing.